actually stepping down from the Tonight Show. Kind of being forced out again.
Well, yeah, he's not stepping down. He's being pushed.
He's being pushed. And I've asked Dave to come on this morning. And Dave, thank you for being here.
Good morning, Howard. How are you?
I know, Robin. I know we agreed to only talk about the Jay Leno situation, right?
Right.
Okay.
Is that right? We can't talk about the girls or anything?
No, right, Dave. We're limiting it to the Jay Leno stuff.
No, I think Jay is enough to talk about, don't you?
Yeah. Now, what do you? Now, David, you've been in late night television as long as anybody.
Right.
What's your take on this whole thing? Do you have any thoughts?
Well, I like the idea of Jimmy Fallon taking over the Tonight Show. He's got a hell of a lot more he's a hell of a lot more fuckable than Jay Leno, for one thing.
So you're excited about it?
Yeah, I'm very excited for the Tonight Show, to come back to New York City. They get the hottest interns on that show, and hopefully, we can trade
interns between your show and the new Tonight Show.
That's right.
Right.
But Jimmy Fallon, Howard, might be taking over the Tonight Show, but I'm still way better than him because I have a white band leader.
Well, you're always with the jokes, but I'm being serious. I want to know about Jay Leno, your rivalry, and how you feel about everything.
Well, as a condolences gift.
You mean a condolence gift?
Yeah, as a condolence gift. Yeah, as a condolence gift. I'm buying Jay a 1971 Pinto for his car collection. They're the ones with the exploding gas tank.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
I seriously, I think Leno, Kimmel, and Fallon are all a bunch of pussies. I think the late night war should be settled by the guy with the biggest penis. I'm 14 inches. What does Kimmel have?
Kimmel evidently is very big.
Yeah, and by the way, Howard, that Jimmy Kimmel is so skinny. Do you think he has AIDS? I don't know.
Why are you attacking Jimmy?
I don't know.
Why are you attacking these guys? You should be an elder statesman. You're David Letterman.
I know. I'm just a bitter old man at this point. I should retire and let Kimmel, Fallon, and Leno all take over late night. They'll all be so busy trying to write their stupid jokes, I could sneak in and fuck all their wives and girlfriends.
Right. Well, Robin, do you have any questions for Dave?
Why hasn't he spoken out? I mean, this is his nemesis.
Well,
how do you feel about Jay really being pushed out?
How do I feel? Well, TV just won't be the same without Jay, Robin. It'll be better.
It'll be better. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
All right.
In the words of the great, in the words of the great Kim Jong-un, I say to Jay, "Sayonara, shithead." Does that tell you how I feel?
Yeah. Well.
Okay. Now I'm getting the anger. That's what I wanted to hear.
Is your son old enough to ask you about all this?
Yeah, my son asked me what was Jay like on TV, so I blasted a massive turd right on the screen. He got the point.
You did that in front of your son.
Exactly.
Yeah, well,
I don't believe it.
You know what you ought to do? I was thinking you should write a top 10 about it. Would make all the news because you'd write a top 10 about Jay.
Well, sure. I was going to write a top 10 on why Jay was let go, but then it occurred to me, who gives a fuck?
Right. Your band leader is there with you now? Is that it?
Paul?
And
no,
all the guys?
I don't know what he's doing.
Right.
He's trying to get phone numbers, I think.
So, in a sense, this whole transition with Jay leaving, and I thought maybe you'd choose to retire because you wouldn't have Jay there anymore. But are you excited about Jay leaving?
Right. No, Howard, I haven't been this excited since I first mounted an intern on my fuck couch.
Really? So you are excited about it?
Very excited.
Right.
And by the way, Howard,
yeah.
I just want to say one thing. You look very sexy on America's Got Talent.
Thank you.
And I want you to murder my vagina.
Well, Dave, you're on fire this morning. I've never heard you talk like this, to be honest.
Well, okay, I understand that he's happy that Jay is getting the brush.
Right.
But is he worried about the competition from these younger guys?
I didn't know Jay Leno was on against me until like 2 years ago. I've learned so much since I stopped fucking my interns. I read the newspaper now every day, and I'm learning to speak Mandarin Chinese.
Yeah. Hey, did you, did you read about this basketball player who came out, Dave? I mean, I know I'm not supposed to ask you about anything other than Jay Leno.
Oh, that fairy worm?
this,
Yeah, I heard about it.
The what?
That fairy worm. I hope he washes
Fairy
his hands.
worm.
Yeah.
Dave, what is with you?
That guy needs to wash his hands a few times.
Yeah, I
if
know
you
you're
ask
kidding
me.
around. I know you're very liberal,
sure.
actually, about all that stuff.
I want to tell you something, Howard. Getting back to these people on TV, if Ryan Seacrest came out, I bet he could get any man in the world.
Ryan Seacrest is straight.
Is he?
Yeah.
And by the way, while we're on the subject, what's with Bloomberg and the soda? How about putting a limit on the amount of Jews? I guarantee you, people in New York City want more soda and less Jews.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know you're doing shtick right now.
Is that it?
All right. Anyway, Dave, I want to thank you for coming on.
Well, it's very nice being here, and you know, we're going to have you on the show real soon. And Howard, I just want to say one thing. Is that black woman still with you, Howard?
If you're referring to Robin, yes.
You've been talking to me, you nut.
I don't know. I really admire you for that, Howard. I wanted to hire one, but I've always chickened out. You're a real hero, Howard Stern.
All right. Well, thank you.
All right.
All right. There he is, evil Dave Letterman. You're very evil.
Yeah. Well, you know.
How'd we get you on the show?
I'm the stooge of the
anyway?
night, Howard.
How'd we even get you on the show?
Who's away?
My agent.
By the way, this is lest anyone think this is a real Dave Letterman. It's evil Dave Letterman.
Evil Dave.
Evil Dave.
Is that it? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, sure.
All right, it's a miracle we got you on. Your wife let you out of the house, huh?
It's a miracle I read the whole paragraph right, too.
The only word you got wrong was condolence.
Well.
How did he say it again?
Convalescence.
Yes.
Yeah.
But other than that, you did great.
He did a good job.
I'm proud of myself. I actually cleaned my glasses this morning, too. That helped. About a fifth of vodka.
How you doing anyway, by the way, Evil Dave?
I'm doing real good.
You doing all right?
I'm doing real good, and at this point, you know, I try to forget things by, you know, those water bottles. I sometimes put vodka in there and try to fool people, and you know.
All right. Well, we'll end it. You know what? You did well, and we should probably leave it at that.
End it on a high note.
Thank you very much, buddy.
All right. Hey, thank you, Evil Dave Letterman, everyone.
Yeah, all right, sure.
Sure. You had a little trouble with the name Kim Jong-un, by the way.
Well, you know me, Howard. I was being the stooge of the night.
All right. Dave, thank you.
All right.
Believe it or not, his real name is Dave.
It's amazing.
Yeah. All right, Dave. Later.
Bye, buddy.
Bye. I can't get enough of him. Convalescence. But there he is, his first statements about the Jay Leno controversy.
Yes, and he made them here.
Yeah. Oh.
Lucky us.
I didn't realize he was still up. You still there, Dave?
Huh?
What?
I was using the Korean porta potty. Did you say something?
All right. Thanks, Dave.
How do you hang up on him?
No, I put down the wrong thing.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, Matt, go ahead. You're on the air.
Heyo.
Heyo.
Hey, I wanted to ask Dave.
I don't know if he's still there. Dave, you still there?
Huh?
You still there?
Yeah, I'm trying to finiance my business. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Matt.
Dave, first of all, I love your version of Black Sabbath songs.
Right.
But whatever became of the fuck room? Has it been boarded up? Do we still use?
Oh, don't get him started with all that. Just stick to Jay Leno stuff.
That,
yeah.
you know.
Howard, you got to admit, Evil Dave's the best when he goes off the cuff. So I wanted to.
All right, you want to work with? All right, Matt, you work with him then.
Okay.
Go ahead.
What do you want to know about the fuck room?
Just what's become of it? I mean, does it ever still get used? I mean,
I had it redecorated in yellow. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Matt, you want to go down this road? You're going to ruin it. The guy hit a home run today. He did well. He only got 2 words wrong, and then you're going to fuck it all up.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
All right, Matt. Thank you.
But I love him.
No.
Well, yes. Explain to the audience briefly what goes into an Evil Dave segment. Between the writing, the execution, the preparation.
Yeah, we write a segment, and then so we write the jokes for Evil Dave. As you can probably tell, he just reads them word for word. Now that he's out in Chicago, Abe Cannon, who is a member of the Howard 100 team, he goes out there, and he's the babysitter now. I'm usually doing it when Dave's here live, but when he's doing phone calls like he did today, he was on an ISDN line. Sorry, this is all heavy radio talk. I don't want to get anyone confused.
No, keep the jargon going. We all can relate.
Abe Cannon picks him up. I guess he picked him up this morning at a Jiffy Lube, and he had a flashlight. Evil Dave had a flashlight to let Abe know where he was. So they go to the studio or wherever, and then, you know, Dave reads the lines. I think Abe does a little practicing with him beforehand to make sure he's not going to totally fuck it up. And that's that. That's pretty much the story.
But it's crazy. I mean, you pare down all, you know, first everyone writes the jokes, and then the list is pared down.
Yep.
And then you're just sort of flying without a net. I mean, you have Abe, but he's halfway across the country, and is that nerve-wracking for you, or is it?
No, it's not nerve-wracking because I actually pray for the train wrecks. I like when Dave just can't, you know, completely gets a word wrong.
Like
Condolences.
Right.
Condolences.
And last time
it's like Condoleezza.
It was Bootcake, I think, was last time.
Bootcake. Yeah, so you know, you can always count on him to fuck up a few words, and I love him. I think he's perfect because he can't do wrong no matter what he does. Like when he fucks it up, it's funny. When he gets it right, it's funny. So it's a win-win for everyone.
Hey, by the way, when Dr. Drew was on, and Richard came in, which I thought was good radio, but could you believe when Dr. Drew says, well, where is your ancestry from? And then Richard goes, Kansas?
Right, I know. That stuck with me yesterday.
How do you not know your ancestry?
Where are your ancestors from?
Kansas.
Kansas?
No,
I mean,
like, he means like, you know, like your ethnic background.
I don't think I ever looked that much into
Like,
it.
where's your dad's family from?
Irish, I think.
Irish, okay.
Irish
Oh,
and
well,
German.
done. It's over. It's over.
Hey,
So
that's
it.
stereotype.
No, that's
it's just the
genetics.
truth.
That's just the genetics.
My ancestors are from Kansas. Oh, my God. And he scored high on the IQ test.
Well, he's drinking his IQ away.
Maybe. I mean, who said? What is your ancestry? Kansas. I'm going to be 60 in January, and oh, hey, dude, how did you come up with Kansas as an answer for Dr. Drew?
Well, you know,
I was nervous.
I didn't have a bottle.
It was so weird, man.
well, I
Makes
think
me, that's when I think you're dumb, but I know you're smart.
you know, I think it's more of a New York thing to know where your ancestry's
No,
from.
it's called a life thing.
Nobody ever in Kansas.
You weren't even that sure you were Irish.
I'm not. I
Yeah.
don't know.
You made that up.
Yeah, I think it's Irish and German.
Like, did you ever say to your parents, where were your parents born? Like, where were your parents born? Your grandparents? Did you
No,
ever ask them?
they were all from Kansas.
No.
Oh,
but where were they?
stop
But
it.
where were their ancestry? What was their ancestry?
I don't
Somebody
have-
had to come here at some point.
Yeah, you
Richard.
weren't part of the original settlers, were you?
No, I'm not. Well, my grandfather has some Indian in him, so.
All right, so
Maybe.
yeah, American Indian is what you say.
He was called sitting drunk.
Sitting drunk. It might be an interesting thing for you to find out.
I went on that Ancestry.com website,
Okay.
but they wanted to charge, so I didn't.
How much did they want? Maybe it's worth it. Well, you know what? You have Ancestry.com. Call your dad.
Yeah, okay. I think I
You
asked him
think
when I
your
was a
dad
kid.
knows?
I don't think so.
Get him on the phone. I'll ask him. Say, hey, where was Richard? Where's your family roots?
Yeah, that's a
You
good
know.
question. But
It's a good question.
when I first moved to New York, everybody
You act like
knew
you're
where they-
adopted or something. Like that's what adopted people go. Well, gee, I wonder where I'm from. I don't know because I'm adopted. You were born to biological parents that kept you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
but we were always proud of being from Kansas. So
Yeah.
yeah. We just say we're from Kansas.
I don't think what good is it going to do me to know?
Well, it's just interesting. It's part of life. All right.
Dr. Drew thought it was important yesterday.
Oh,
We come from cows in Kansas.
possums.
All right, brother.
Thank you.
Man, I thought that was pretty interesting with your drinking and everything.
Yeah.
And I heard you on the wrap-up show talk. You just had some couple of interesting things on the wrap-up show.
Yeah?
Yeah, the wrap-up show was really good yesterday.
Interesting meaning dumb or interesting?
Nah, well, yeah, I guess dumb. Like when you start talking about your alcoholism and all that.
Yeah.
Just funny.
Thanks.
Yeah. And then Ronnie talking about his anal. Like Ronnie's suddenly an anal expert. Like when I think of Ronnie, I think of assholes clenching up. I don't think of women opening their assholes up to Ronnie, but he was on there like an expert. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
The first time you did that, Ronnie, did you know what you were doing, or did you kind of trial and error sort of?
I knew what I was doing. I figured it out.
God. How did you figure it out?
I watched a lot of porn, man. You know.
So, like, as an instructional video almost?
Yeah, well, you know, not well, actually, you know, not porn so much. It's
Well,
like
what was it?
It's like one of those. Oh boy. You know, the ones. It's not really porn. It's kind of instructional video. How to fuck girls and stuff.
Ronnie's out of it. Ronnie's an older guy. When there was porn when we were younger, you had to go to a movie theater to see it. And a lot of the porns got into the movies. They were considered instructional.
Yeah.
Like it would be this doctor would start the porn and they would be telling you information and then they'd show people fucking. That's what a lot of early porn was. And then when Behind the Green Door started and Linda Lovelace and all that stuff.
That's when it got more erotic.
It got more erotic, but a lot of the porn, even afterwards, was just like, you know, this guy would come on in a white coat and go, we are sex experts. And if it was under the guise of teaching, you could watch porn in certain movie theaters, like legitimate movie theaters.
Did you take sex education when you were in school?
No, they didn't have any of that.
Oh, they had that when I was in school.
Yeah, not when I was.
They didn't have a health class where they told you.
They had health, yeah, but
right.
I don't remember hearing about sex though. And I smoked.
They never talked about your male organs and.
You got to understand something about my education, and it's really weird, and it's hard to explain to anybody. But I was living in Roosevelt, and 9th grade was the year that we got sex education. It was either 8th or 9th grade, and Roosevelt was just a horribly dangerous place. And the only thing I remember about this health class is, and back then, you're talking about, you know, I'd never even seen anyone take a drug or smoke pot. Most of the black kids, there was at least 5 or 6 of the guys who were sitting in the back smoking weed openly in the back of my health class. Now, I'm not fucking kidding anybody. Now, and nowadays, that doesn't even sound so shocking. Talk about when I was a kid, it was the scariest thing I ever saw. Like 5 guys smoking joints at their desk, like passing it to each another. And I remember one of the guys was in a very well-known gang, the 5 Percenters. A lot of the guys were. I've mentioned that before, but a lot of the guys were. And they would just smoke openly. Teacher wouldn't fuck with them.
The teacher was scared of them? Or?
Oh, absolutely.
Wow.
One teacher had been stabbed in the back in the parking lot. So it was like no one said shit to these guys.
They didn't have security at the school?
No, they didn't do that stuff back
they
then.
finally got a dean of boys, but I once reported, my mom reported something to the dean of boys, and it was a big mistake. I got my ass beaten so badly for that.
What could the dean of boys do?
The dean of boys quit. He was my friend's dad, actually.
Really?
Who lived in Baldwin. Yeah, yeah.
But your parents taught you a lot by getting you the Playboy subscription.
My parents didn't teach me anything.
Yeah, but that's pretty cool to get
I might
your
as well
kid.
have been raised in the woods like Tarzan. I was taught nothing about life. I had zero preparation. Yeah, I had Playboy, but I didn't even, you know.
But that's pretty huge when you're a kid.
My mom was very liberal about that. She didn't care. These women are freaks. I'll get you Playboy. I'm not uptight about the naked body. But when you look at these women, just know they're freaks. Nobody looks like women. Real women look like me and your sister. I go, oh. Well, I'll go look at these freaks and dream of one day having a freak. These women are not real women. Look at my breasts and hair and
Did she get disrobed? Is she saying that? Look, this is a real woman.
Look at my ass.
Held the magazine up next to her.
I'm going to get nude for you right now.
Oh, man.
I don't know. My mom used to pride herself so much that she was raising a son who was sensitive to women. And look at me. I'm the least sensitive man on the planet.
She didn't know you were a guy and you had testosterone.
Yeah,
And it wouldn't matter what she said.
Yeah. You want to beat off? You beat off to me. I'm a real woman. No thanks. Yeah. Go look through my panty drawer. No, those panties are so big. There's nothing. Oh. But yeah, when I went to health class, I was just trying to stay alive. I just didn't want to get my ass kicked in class.
You never had a cooking class or anything, did
No,
you?
fuck no.
Like
I should have gone there. Well, the women in Roosevelt were 10 times tougher than the dudes. They would have beat my ass in there too.
they probably wouldn't have bothered you because they don't go looking for fights, do they?
Yes.
Women?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, in Roosevelt they do. Must be such a disappointment to my mother. She raised me to be sensitive to women, and like every night I'm beating off to porn, and I'm almost 60. It's fucking crazy, man. That desire's got to leave. I beat off last night.
To what?
Doctor-patient porn. This Japanese.
You're heavily into the doctor-patient
I really
now.
can't, you know what? I try beating off to other stuff, and it's just not doing it for me. I don't care. It's got to be that scenario, and this one was Japanese. I don't know what the two of them were talking about. This,
You're kidding.
No, it said Japanese MILF. Go on YouPorn. You'll see this one, and just type in Doctor Patient, and then you'll see about halfway down in the box it says Japanese MILF comes from her doctor, something like that.
What a description.
And there was this woman, Japanese woman with gigantic boobs, natural boobs, laying down. She's in the stirrups and everything. And this fucking guy is sticking shit into her like I've never seen. And they even blur it out. You ever see that on YouPorn? They blur it out.
Well, Japan has weird. Porn laws. They can't show vagina.
I prefer it. I don't want to see that much vagina.
Yeah, you're not into the cum shots. And
No,
all
I don't
that.
care. Ugh, so gross.
That's the best
I don't like
part.
when they spread open a woman's vagina. It's too graphic for me. And when guys now spit on a woman's vagina, that's disgusting. I hate seeing
That's
guys.
what's going on?
Oh, please, Robin. You don't know what I have to beat off to. You don't know how awful.
What you have to lower yourself to watch.
You have no idea how degraded women are being so I can beat off. Oh, my God. And then women spit on these guys' penises. It's like, ugh.
Right. There's a lot of, I've seen the women spitting.
Oh, it's disgusting. Spitting is I'm so sick of it. I wish I could rise above it. I really do. I really wish I could get over it.
Just watch it
keeps
more.
Sucking me back in. No, I mean, I wish I could get over beating off.
Oh, I thought you meant the spitting part.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, he just wants you to be desensitized. Just keep watching till it doesn't matter.
Just watch it a lot. Yeah, like Richard's so desensitized. He can watch guys fucking each other in the ass and he likes it.
I'll send you a cum shot compilation so you get used
you're
to
off
it.
your rocker. You're disgusting. What?
Have you ever considered
Oh, I have to turn your mic on. Okay.
Hello?
Yeah,
have you ever
it's
considered,
Benji.
you suggest that whole 1 month thing, like with pot.
Yeah, I've done. Believe me, I could not beat off. You know.
How long have you gone?
I've gone almost 6 months.
And what? Did you feel better?
At some level, yeah. But now I just do it. I just beat off. Why should I deny myself beating off? It's not like drugs.
I went a year one time and I started having wet dreams because your body has to get rid of it.
I would
somehow.
never have a wet dream.
I was leaking.
I would never have a wet dream.
Well, I mean,
You would never?
I've never had a pleasant dream.
Well,
in my
but
life.
you have a wife too. This was when I wasn't getting laid.
Even when I was a child, I never had a wet dream.
Never had a wet dream?
I've never been able to have a pleasant dream.
Oh,
I've
What are
never
you
been able to.
talking about,
I
Howard?
literally cannot. They're only nightmares. I'm
Wet
being serious.
nightmares?
I would love to have a beautiful dream.
Howard, you don't remember all of your dreams.
Oh, I
first
do.
of all.
Trust me. Right there at the therapist's office. Each one is more monstrous and hideous than the next.
You never woke up with a mess on your belly?
No.
Oh,
No.
it's great.
You never. You probably woke up with a mess on your belly because you were with some dude.
Or you threw up.
Yeah, right.
Camping
Hey,
trip.
look at this. There's a big mess on my belly.
And my asshole.
Hey, Benji, you got pretty good and ripped up on the Celebrity Superfan Roundtable.
Yeah, I did.
Wow. I just heard it.
Yeah.
JD played me tape of it.
Yeah,
And then you called in to defend yourself?
I tried to.
Yeah. A lot of the celebrities were saying they would never hire Benji because he was late.
Oh.
Yeah, he took it pretty bad.
How do you defend yourself, Benji?
I don't even know why he called in.
Really?
He was like, "No, you must hire me.
No.
You have to hire me. You want to hire me.
I'm a good person.
You like my eyes.
I have beautiful eyes.
And nice calves, too.
Yeah,
Well, I don't think they know what they're judging me on at all.
whatever.
They don't know what I do here.
They don't know me.
Oh, it's okay to be late in what you do?
No, they were judging me on other things.
No, but I heard the guy from Conan O'Brien, Andy Richter, he went, I would never hire Benji just based on him being late. Even today, you arrived at 5:56. I know every day what time you come in. I mean, you cut it so close. If I was you, I'd just get in a little bit earlier, but that's my thing.
But over the years, I never should have been late at all, but I'm not anymore.
Yeah, this is what he was saying to them.
I see.
Let me see if I can find it.
But he'd have already been fired at all those other jobs.
No, they think they...
Oh, they wouldn't hire him.
Listen, my point
But if
was,
he had.
I never should have been late at all. But there's a lot of people here that have been just as late as me, just as often, and the amount of times was about 6 times over 6 years.
I don't care really.
I don't
even want to hear it.
All right. Did it improve your relationship when you stopped masturbating?
Yeah, I mean, but I have a good sex life with my wife.
But did it improve your connection?
Yeah, I guess. It doesn't affect it either way. It doesn't affect it either way, really. Honestly, it's not.
So you feel you get more pleasure by
There's
doing
no reason to stop. I mean, but it's probably better to stop. I would think. It's like Mike Tyson said.
Well, no, Mike Tyson says he jerks off all the time.
Yeah, but he said that he only jerks off thinking about his wife. I don't buy that. I didn't believe him when he said. You know what? He
said he's doing things to her that he can't get to do.
I got to tell you something. He really was a great interview. There are more moments that I think about stuff that he said. It was mind blowing, really.
And one of the most poignant moments, I mean, you could actually learn something from him when he was talking about visiting Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
I think you were just
I was in awe.
fascinated
I was.
that he sits there and nothing is being said.
Oh, yes,
And he can do it. He just said, I respect the man and I realize what he's going through, so I just sit there with him.
Yeah, Ali sits and reads a book, and Iron Mike just stands there and looks at him. I don't know. I'm in awe of that. I really am.
Can I ask Robin a question?
No.
Yes.
No, Robin, please.
You said, Robin, you said yesterday,
Well, ask me after the show.
Has Mike forgiven Desiree Washington? Do you think she owes him an apology?
No, but in his mind, he said he does not think he did anything wrong. So, therefore, he went to jail unjustly in his mind, and that's why I asked the question.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for that question. All right, I found the clip. Here is the celebrity superfans talking about Benji.
Johnny, who don't you like?
This is Johnny Knoxville.
I don't dislike anyone, but I will tell you someone who annoys me from time to time is Benji. I feel Benji...
I love Johnny.
...like tries to manufacture little weird things with himself or his life for fodder for the show, whereas it's so much funnier and more interesting when it happens naturally.
How about you, Richter? Who don't you like?
I do think John Hines hot.
That was Andy Richter.
Who don't I like? Well, kind of the same things. I mean, Benji obviously is a good joke writer. He wouldn't be there working for Howard if he wasn't. But sometimes the things that he brings, I think he kind of fancies himself as some kind of latter-day Andy Kaufman, where...
Yeah, I think that of you too, Benj.
Absolutely.
That's where you run into trouble. You want to be like a wild guy character, weird, odd. But maybe you really are weird and odd. I don't know. I just think sometimes you're putting it on. But maybe you're really weird and odd.
Yeah.
Do you think you are, or are you putting it on?
I think 90% of the time when you guys think I'm fucking around, I'm not. I mean, I am sometimes, but 90% of the time I'm not.
All right.
Like people thought when I called in, I was
but
upset.
when you would wear like a kufi to work, that was trying to be weird, right?
That was for Kali Hari Kaka.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You're carrying on about all that and talking in clicks, and I don't know. That's what I think Andy's talking about here.
By the way, Howard,
Yeah.
I don't know what he's wearing today, but he was wearing regular shoes, and everybody thinks that he might have sent his shoes out to be redone. They might even be a little higher.
Are they higher?
No, I'm gonna make them higher, but not right now. They're not.
Even all of that is like kind of a shtick.
That's not. I like him. I like being taller.
Yeah, but he's wearing these sneakers now that are like, they're so ridiculously giant-sized that, Robin, it's
and
crazy.
They're white, so it's not even like you're hiding the lip.
It's like wearing clown shoes.
Look how I am. Like how much. Like look how short Gary is now.
Yeah,
it's
that's
cool.
true.
It's fun.
Are those the
I get more respect when I wear these.
Howard,
who cares?
You know, we don't have a lot of offices around here, so sometimes when I come in on a Friday, Benji is at a desk in the green room, like just a regular desk. And when you see him sitting there with the shoes on the floor. He looks like a kid who's been put in the corner.
Yeah, but it's like Pee Wee Herman shoes.
You really can see they look. Every time I walk by you, it makes me laugh.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, and you're saying you get more respect.
I do. People treat me like a taller person.
Okay, Benji, can I just want to say, just take 2 seconds. You know how, like, when somebody has a bad hair piece and everybody talks behind their back?
Yes.
Everybody talks behind your back about the shoes.
But he likes that.
I do.
And that's what Andy Richter's talking about here.
All right.
Let's continue with Andy.
Like, the joke is that there isn't a joke, and to me that just means there's not a joke.
I'm sorry to jump on the bandwagon, but I get very excited about not liking Benji.
Who's that?
That's comedian Rob Cordry.
Okay.
You know, it's mostly it happened, and I also can't stand the shtick, you know, and that the Andy Kaufman thing is right on. Like, that started to get old before Andy Kaufman died. You know what I mean? Like, that whole idea. And it's lazy. And you know, a lot of us here are in the position to hire writers. And when that whole thing happened, when he was coming in late, and I still hold a grudge, like, we're all here in the position. This show's not going to go on forever, and he's going to be looking for a job. And I can't speak for everyone at this table, but I would never ever hire him.
Danny, do you think you would hire Benji?
Never in a million years, no.
And it's Danny Zucker, right? He's a big producer.
He's a writer on Modern Family.
Right.
Is it because of his comedy or because of his work ethic?
I think it's both. I think you know, I think the laziness of that bit is just, it doesn't play. It's like we actually have to write jokes in television and in movies, and you have to, you know, you can't just do a non-joke in that moment. But the late thing is just it.
See, he's mad at you because you're late.
Well, no, he's saying what I write, and
but you're
he should come here, Danny. You should come here and look what I write on a daily basis.
He is a funny joke writer. He is. I wouldn't hire a guy who isn't. But Danny's saying you can't be late for him. That's also an issue for him.
It was horrible when I was, but I think people think it was like a daily basis I was late, and I should never have been late.
There was a run, Benji.
Yeah.
Look at the record. It's like I said, it was a few times in a few years.
We don't keep records here.
Look at the record.
Check
we only should have
check the congressional record.
Why don't you keep a record?
I can't find anyone who keeps records around here.
And there were other people that were late as often as I.
Again, that is not your
and more times,
the
but
excuse.
I got labeled with
that
it.
is not the excuse you should use.
Rob, like
that is not a good excuse.
You've talked about driving drunk before, okay? Right?
I have.
Hold on a second.
I've never heard that. What is it, Gary?
Well, you have. And if you were always labeled with that, but you had stopped doing that, it would bug you.
Go ahead.
My goodness, I don't know what he's talking about. I'm sure I must have at some point in time.
Oh, well, you're a drunk driver. Drunk driver Robin. That's horrible.
I've never driven drunk.
That's good.
I would
sober
never.
driver, Howard.
Yeah, I'm a sober driver.
I appreciate that.
Benji, weren't you just late to the writers' meeting like 3 weeks ago?
That's possible.
No, it was a whole time. It was. Here's the thing.
I wasn't drunk though. I wasn't driving there drunk.
That's what I mean.
It was a big scene. It was a big scene because we have a writing meeting. Starts at 10 o'clock. Everybody gets there at 10 to 10.
Right.
So Benji walked in. He wasn't ridiculously late, but he walked in about 10:05.
No, 10:01.
It was. There was
I
one
think
time
most of the people.
You've been late twice.
Most of the people at Celebrity Superfan are like, "Wow, you've got like the coolest job."
I
in the
do
world.
have a cool job,
Most people
and I'm
would
good
kill
at it.
to have the job, and you even killed to get that
Let
job.
them come see what I do.
Yeah, but that's not the question. I wouldn't hire you if you weren't good, but but they wouldn't put up with your bullshit.
All right,
because they can hire millions of writers. You know, that's the point. You know, the other thing is too with our show. You know, it's such a thankless job sometimes writing. Sometimes if you're lucky, you get a credit. Like, you wouldn't know what anyone on The Tonight Show or David Letterman.
I have no idea who's responsible for what.
The host takes all the credit and all this kind of stuff. I always try to point out, hey, look, Richard Sal did this, Benji did this, Fred does this. I always try to say, hey, if someone made a contribution.
I appreciate that.
By the way, I want to go on record. Benji wrote the "I'm going to be late" bit.
Right.
Howard, you know where I first saw that?
Right.
What's the comedian Fred that played on that show Arliss on HBO?
Robert
Wool. So I went out to the I think it was the Oscars one year, and I think Fred and I were in the press room, and I never knew, like, during the commercial break, you see the camera, and there's Billy Crystal on stage, and Robert Wool comes out and hands him a bunch of jokes.
Right.
But Billy Crystal doesn't say,
hey,
Robert Wool wrote this joke.
Right.
But Billy Crystal is not, I don't think, I haven't seen it, but he's not constantly saying, Rob Arliss is a retard.
On my show, people get endless credit.
And
accolades.
And critique.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But often, Benji, you're being critiqued for
Being
your
late.
what
No,
you
not-
do,
not for your
not
sense of-
necessarily
Listen,
for being late. Even
I don't-
it's for what you
I don't
do.
think
Some of
Lowell
that
was late.
shtick.
Robin,
Some of that shtick
but,
you
and
do.
by the nature of the show, you shouldn't stop every
Oh,
time.
I so don't want to be in a conversation even with you. Oh, I don't know how I got sucked in.
Obviously, those comments made on Celebrity Superfan Roundtable stung you.
Well, okay, I've always, like, I really appreciated what Natalie said. She said she missed me on the wrap-up show.
Mm-hmm.
Because of our meeting schedule, I'm not on wrap-up hardly at all anymore. But at least on wrap-up, I feel if people hate me, they really know me. I just don't like being hated for things that I think are misperceptions. That really always bugs me. And if someone really knows me and hates me, I'm cool with them. Say, okay. And I think on wrap-up, people have much more learned, like, who I am, and, you know, then they can make a real evaluation.
Do you feel that you're trying to have it both ways, in the sense
Yes.
that you're a silly guy, and you want to be, and you want to have your jokes and your your people call it Kaufman-esque type of personality, yet you want to be taken seriously on the same note?
No, I just, listen, I think people like to pigeonhole people. I don't know if it's more now than it used to be, but people like to pigeonhole people, and, you know, people are multi-dimensional, you know, and I'm not just 1, 2, 3 dimensions, whatever, you know.
Richard. From your Kansas ancestry into a beautiful porn discussion with Howard. It's
Beautiful
amazing.
porn discussion.
It's amazing how
Where I mentioned cum shot compilations. It's real beautiful.
Is that still what you're into these days? Because Howard discussed, you know, he loves the scenario with doctor-patient porn and all of that. You've always been a big ropes guy.
Yeah.
Is that still what does it for you?
I think I'll be a ropes guy until the end of my days. Yeah, you know.
You're a big load guy through and through.
I'll always, once a big load guy, always a big load guy. It's like anything. It's like I started liking heavy metal when I was a kid. I'll always love heavy metal. Started liking horror movies when I was a kid. I always like horror movies. Started liking beer when I was a kid. I always liked beer. And I was a fan of Peter North when I was a kid. And I'm still a